A cheerful good morning and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you present today in the GK class. Before going ahead with our class today, uh, I'm not going to repeat you the instructions related to COVID-19 because I hope all of you are mature enough as well as sincere enough to follow all the instructions as per the guidelines given by the government, as well as the instructions given by other teachers, as well as by us, by me and each and every teachers from in this entire pandemic times. Okay, continuously we have been focusing on the precautions, the safety measures which has to be taken by you, us, and at the same time each and everyone present on this surface of the earth, so that in order to remain free, in order to remain safe from any kind of pandemic situation which may arise or any kind of problems which may arise as a result of the carelessness. Okay, so starting with our today's discussion, starting with our today's class, first and the foremost thing I would like to tell you, that is what are the things which we are going to do today. I'll be teaching you today a little bit portion of your chemistry, that is your science as well, because that is one of the parts of one of the questions. Okay, and already some of you have got the knowledge as well related to that, so it will be much more easier for you. Okay, so starting with this, let us start with our today's session without any delay, because that science portion may take a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, if you remember in the last class, by mistake I did the page numbers, that was your 61, 65 as well as 66. Okay, so since we have done 61, 65 and 66 in the last class, so I thought of completing this page number 70 as well today, because if this one page will be left behind, it will be of no use. So by completing this one page, we will be able to complete this entire topic of India and the world, that is up to of this India and the world, related to your periodic test 2 as well as annual. Okay, and apart from this page number 70, we will be also be doing page number 44 and 50 of this science part, that is periodic test 2. Okay, so one page number from the annual, that was your India and the world, the last page number. Along with it, we will also be dealing with your science and technology, page numbers 44 and page number 50. So I hope all of you have your books in front of you, the pencils in front of you, and let us start with our today's class. Starting with our today's class, these are the three page numbers, that is page number 70 from India and the world, and your page number 44 and 50 from your science and technology. Okay, starting with this very first page number, if you can see, this is the page number related to the Union Territories of India, which has been changed a little bit due to the addition of Daman and Diu. Okay, one more state as well as Union Territories which has been added. So let us go ahead with this part. Okay, the very first one, choose the correct option, as you know that this is the portion related to your civics, so you must be knowing much more than me. Okay, but still let us have a quick discussion over this one as well. Okay, which Union Territory of India was designed by the Swiss French modernist architect Le Corbusier? Okay, so this Chandigarh is the correct option, which is one of the Union Territories of India, and the design of this was created by the architect Le Corbusier. Okay, I'm also going to show you the images related to these answers, which will make the class little bit much more interactive as well. Okay, I cannot show you the entire portions related to Chandigarh, okay, because it is not a very small city or something like that. or it is not a very small union territory as well. Okay, so that is why I am showing you a little bit, just one glimpse of it. This is one of the images related to your Chandigarh region, related to your basically Chandigarh tourist spot, you can say. Okay, moving ahead with this, what we have is next one we have, that is your how many union territories are there in India. So basically we had 7 earlier, but now it is the increased due to the addition of one of them. Okay, next here, that is the name the state animal. Okay, first let me show you that. These are the 7 union territories, that is your Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Delhi, Chandigarh, Daman and Diu, and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Okay, Lakshadweep, Puducherry, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and your Delhi. Okay, so starting from the left hand side, 4 plus 3, 7. Earlier, this Daman and Diu and Dadar and Nagar Haveli, they were separated, but again after some time they were merged again. Okay, so fine, it remained to 7 only, which was earlier. Okay, going ahead with this, we have how many name the state animal of the Andaman and the Nicobar Islands. So this is the state animal, that is your dugong. Okay, I'm showing you much more clear picture of this, which I have taken it from the Google. Okay, so from here, if you can see, now the number of union territories have become to be 8. Okay, 4 on the left hand side, 4 on the right hand side. So now the answers will be 8, not 7. Okay, next one what we are going to see is, if you can see, this aquatic organism which is known as your basically dugong. I still imagine whether this must be found now as well. Okay, moving ahead with this, so how many island groups form the union territory of Lakshadweep? So it is the 36 island groups which form the union territory of Lakshadweep. I cannot show you that entire 36, but I hope that this image is going to help you a little bit. This Lakshadweep, what you can see is that this is basically the island groups only, and I hope these island groups only together form 36 in number. Okay, if you can see, Shetland, Kilton, Bitra, Bangaram, Kadmat, Agati, Amini, Androff, Kavrati, Minikoy, and your Kalpeni. Okay, or Kalpani. Okay, so these are some of them. Okay, and I hope they only form the island groups of your Andaman and Nicobar Island. And that is the union territories of Lakshadweep. Okay, moving ahead with this, we have Auroville is partly located in which union territory of India? So it is located in Puducherry. We have just now seen also here, if you remember, this is Puducherry, present at the lowermost bottom right hand side of the Indian map. Okay, so this is one of the images related to Puducherry where it is exactly present on the Indian map. Okay, if you can see, along with your, just below to that you have the Karaikal, and upper to that you have Yanam, and the left hand side you have the Mahi. Okay, so this Puducherry, it shares its border with Kerala as well. Okay, moving ahead with this, we have which is the capital city of the union territory of Dadar and Nagar Haveli? That is your Silvassa. Okay, this is one of the images related to Silvassa. Okay, which is also known for that is a place for all seasons. That is basically you can visit this region or Silvassa in any time whenever you feel like. Okay, that is, it is favorable in all the months from Jan to December. Moving ahead with this, we have here who held Daman and Diu as a colony even after the Indian independence. So they were the Portuguese, basically, that is the people from Portugal. Okay, this is the flag of the Portugal, what I think is. Okay, So the people basically belonging to Portugal or Portuguese, they were basically held Daman and Diu as a colony even after the Indian independence. He is the person, Le Corbusier, if you can see, who did the design of the famous our Union territory, that is your Chandigarh. Fact file: Delhi was made a Union territory in 1956. Lying in the northern part of the country, Delhi is surrounded by Haryana on all its sides except the east, where it borders with Uttar Pradesh. The National Capital Region (NCR) is a coordinated planning region centered upon the National Capital Territory, Delhi. It encompasses the entire NCT of Delhi and several districts surrounding it from the states of Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan. Okay. Think box: do you think the union territories in India have some advantages over the states? Give reasons for your answer. Okay, this you can write it by your own and you can share it in the query sessions as well. Okay, starting with this part, that is, we are talking here about the nuclear science. Okay, that is your page number 44, I hope. Right. Okay, so this is the first one, that is, which is the highest capacity generating nuclear power plant in India. If you remember, Tarapur nuclear power plant I showed you in the last class. Okay, when I was doing some of the pages related to that. Okay, but here it is asking for that power station which is having maximum production for it. Okay, that is generating highest generating capacity of electricity basically. Okay, so that is your Kudunkulam. Okay, this is the image of Kudunkulam. Okay, so this is your Kudunkulam nuclear plant. N plant, basically N stands for your nuclear only. Okay, so if you can see, it is occupying much more larger areas. On one side, if you are able to see, it is completely surrounded by the sea or the oceans or maybe the rivers, we cannot say, and most probably, but as per the size, it is basically either the oceans, okay, or the sea, and the other side which you are able to observe is full of vegetation, that is the plants and everything. Okay, moving ahead, so this is your Kudunkulam nuclear plant. Moving ahead with this, we have which of these states in India does not have a nuclear reactor, that is your Assam. Okay, which is not having the nuclear reactor. Next is that this group of subatomic particles is present in the center of every atom and it forms a tiny core. A cloud of electrically charged particles moves around this core. I hope you all would have studied this part in your metals and non-metals, so I would like to explain you a little bit related to this only. So this group of subatomic particles present in the center of every atom is known as nucleus. Okay, okay. Okay, so if you take the example here, so this is representing the nucleus which is present in the center, and thereafter we have here ellipse. Just hold on. This is one of them. This is one, then we have the second one, then we have the third one, and one more, okay. So this is the complete model or the structure of the atom basically which we are talking about. Okay, if you can see, the very first one which I'm going to show you here is, that is this center part. This part is known as this is the center part, and this is known as nucleus. Okay, followed by we have 4 different layers, okay, surrounding it. So starting with the very first one, okay, that is you can have from here only. This is K, then is L, then we have M, followed by the last one, that is your N here. Okay, so this nucleus is present in the center, and this nucleus contains basically your protons and your neutrons. Okay, this O will be present in the form of superscript basically, okay, in this way. So these protons and neutrons, these are basically, we have 3 different types of charged particles, okay, when we are talking about. So these 3 different types of charged particles are your electrons, protons, and your neutrons. Okay, the electrons, they are negatively charged, protons, they are positively charged, whereas the neutrons, they are neutral in charge. Okay, so these 2 things, that is your protons and the neutrons, since they are present inside the nucleus, so they are completely packed inside the nucleus and they cannot move out or they cannot move anywhere else. Okay, whereas when we talk about the electrons, so electrons are basically present in all these 4 shells which are present outside, and they keep on revolving in these orbits just like our planets do. Okay, so this is K, this is your L, KL, and this one is your M, and this one is the N. So these are the 4 shells in which the electrons are present, whereas the other 2 charged particles, that is your protons and neutrons, they are present inside the nucleus. And that is why whenever any kind of chemical reactions takes place or anywhere, okay, you will always find that there is always increase or decrease in the number of electrons basically which are present in these orbits or in these shells. Okay, protons never take part in the reactions, and that is why, because they are already packed inside the nucleus, and that is why they do not neither take part in the nucleus in the reactions, and nor they are able to move anywhere outside this nucleus. Since neutrons are neutral charged, that is no charge is present on the neutrons, whereas protons are positively charged, therefore this entire nucleus is positively charged, because neutral charge, no charge, so the total charge present on the nucleus is just present by the protons which are present here. Okay, and this KLMN, these are basically known as the shells. K followed by L and KLMN. Okay, if we talk about the electrons, and this is model is known as your Rutherford's model, that is your Ernest Rutherford model for the structure of atom. Okay, I hope you would have understood this part. Okay, and let me show you the question again once more. Okay, that is, this group of subatomic particles is present in the center. So what is present in the center is basically your nucleus, which is containing protons and neutrons. And it forms a tiny core. A cloud of electrically charged particles moves around this core. That is, we are talking about this electrically charged means the electrons which keep on revolving around this nucleus in their orbits or in their shells. Moving ahead with this, that is, which pioneer in physics proposed an atomic model and proved that the positive electric charge in every atom is concentrated in a nucleus in the center of the atom. Okay, now see the image of this famous scientist basically. Okay, this is related to Assam. Okay, a glimpse of it. He was the scientist Ernest Rutherford, who is responsible for giving this model named on his name only. Okay, Rutherford's model of the structure of atom, in which he showed how the electrons, protons and neutrons are arranged, and he also proved that these protons, they are basically present in the center of the atom. Okay, with a experiment including your gold foil experiment, which you will be studying in class 9th. Okay, and let me see the time. If it will be there, I'll be able to tell you that as well. I don't think so we have the time. Okay, moving ahead with this, the number of which negatively charged particles is equal to the number of protons in an electrically neutral atom. Okay, that is your electrons. Okay, when we are talking about this atom, or when we are talking about this structure, so basically first thing which comes into our mind is, that is your atomic number. Always remember. Okay, so this atomic number is nothing but atomic number is the number of protons present in the okay, so atomic number is the number of protons present in the atom, and this number of protons is equal to the number of electrons, and that is why they cancel out the effects of each other, positive and negative, +2 -2, +6 -6, +8 -8. As all of you know, the complete answer becomes 0. In the same way, here also the equal number of positive charges carried by protons and the equal number of negative charges carried out by electrons, they cancel out the effect of each other and making this atom to be electrically neutral. Moving ahead with this, we have here which scientist worked on the expansion of gases and atomic theory? So that was your John Dalton. If you can see his image as well, he was the person, John Dalton, who worked on the atomic theory. Moving ahead with one more famous scientist, that was your Albert Einstein. In 1905 published his famous theory from which he derived his equation E is equal to mc square. That is named the theory, that was the theory of relativity, which is also known by different names. That is a theory of everything, final theory, ultimate theory, or master theory. Is a hypothetical, single, all encompassing coherent theoretical framework of physics, that fully explains and links together all physical aspects of the universe. Finding a toe is one of the major unsolved problems in physics. That is, he gave this explanation of theory of relativity, but reaching to an end is the major problem. That is, the final conclusion was not being able to be provided by him. So he was the person, that is your Albert Einstein, okay, or Einstein. Moving ahead with this, in this process of nuclear decay, the nuclei attain a stable configuration by emitting certain particles. What is this process called? This process is known as your radioactivity. Now, see here, what is this radioactivity as well? Okay, if you can see these, this is basically one of the radioactive element. Okay, any radioactive element which you can think of to be, okay, and there are three types of radioactive decay. Decay means consume hona या फिर give out करना, basically खत्म होना. So alpha radiation, beta radiation and your gamma radiation, these are the three different types of your radioactive decay, okay, and this is representing the nucleus of that radioactive element, okay. In this case, what you are able to see is that this alpha radiation is nothing but 2 protons and 2 neutrons together, representing the alpha particles, okay. So this alpha radiation, this alpha particle was also used by Rutherford in proving that in the center you have the nucleus. Just now I told you that in class 9th you will be going ahead with this, okay. So these 2 protons and 2 neutrons which I am talking about, okay, here they are basically the same alpha particles which will be used by Ernest Rutherford in his experiment to prove that this center is occupied by some kind of positive particles, okay, charged particles, positively charged particles, okay. Next one, we have the beta radiation, that is the radiations which are given out by your high energy electron. See, one is your electron, another one is your high energy electrons, okay. So in the case of high energy, they keep on giving out the harmful radiations. Last but not the least, we have the gamma radiations, that is the high energy electromagnetic photons which are being given out by the same one atom or by each and every atom of a radioactive element from the nucleus, basically, okay, in order to get stable. And slowly all these radiations become lesser and lesser, and finally the radioactive element becomes stable, okay. Already it's about 28 minutes has been passed, okay. Next one we have, let us complete this page at least. This is a special unit constructed to enclose all the equipment and material necessary for producing nuclear fission in a controlled way. Name the unit, that is your nuclear reactor, okay. You have seen the nuclear reactor, okay, this is also there. Today also we have seen a nuclear reactor generates heats which is transferred to water that gets converted into steam. This steam is mostly used to generate electric power, for example in a commercial nuclear power plant, okay. Starting with this, okay, this is one of the artificial nuclear reactor or the things which are present inside the nuclear reactor, okay. So we will be doing this last part, that is page number 45 in the next class, because already the class is about to be over, okay. Before going ahead with this, let me show you some of the current affairs as well, okay. This is going to take a little bit of your time, but no problem. The current affairs related to this, that is which film has been selected as India's official entry for the Oscars, that is your Jallikattu, okay. Next we have which private bank has been merged with the Singapore based DBS Bank India Limited, that is your Lakshmi Vilas Bank, okay. Who has been elected as the Bihar Assembly Speaker, okay. So when we are talking about the speaker, that is your Vijay Kumar Sinha, okay, this part, first one. Which state has passed an ordinance against forced religious conversions? That is your Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Next we have here is, that is your, which nation's prime minister has been nominated for Nobel Peace Prize 2021? I hope that is your Israel prime minister, that is your Benjamin Netanyahu. Last we have, second last, which court ruled the center and states cannot be allowed to have an indefinite right over the acquired properties of the citizens? That is your Supreme Court. Second last we have, who has been appointed as the new independent chairman of the International Cricket Council? That is your Greg Barclay. Last we have, which is the Constitution Day observed? That is your November 26th is now going to be observed as the Constitution Day. Okay, I'll be sharing this PDF. You can just have a look over this one. Okay, so this was all for today. I was not able to complete the last page, which I'll be completing it in the next class, that is on the coming next week basically. Okay, on Thursday. So this was, or one more thing we can do is that we'll be completing this page today itself in the Zoom classes. Okay, that will be much more better for us. No need to let it go on like this. Okay, we'll be completing this last page, that is your page number 50, alternative medicines. We'll be completing in the Zoom classes, which will be there from 11 o'clock. So till then, keep your books and everything ready, and we'll be meeting ahead just within half an hour. Okay, thanks a lot for being with me, and have a superb day ahead. Thank you.